Hey guys, LilWolfie here with another update for my pregnancy vlog for Beta. We are 34 weeks and 4 days, so we have approximately, given the unlikelihood that he actually comes on his due date, about 5.5 weeks to go. Again, my due date is April 25th. However, my doctor will most likely give the it's okay around April 4th at 37 weeks. So we're getting there. We're closing in pretty quickly, obviously. I would like for him to bake for a few more weeks, but I'm starting to really get really keen for him to make his appearance. I mean, I keep saying I know that there's not a lot of changes, I guess, because on my last vlog, I felt like there were a lot more things to report. First mom versus second time mom. Typical. I can no longer wear my wedding band or engagement ring. I actually took my engagement ring off near the beginning of the pregnancy because I kept hitting scratching myself in my sleep with it. So I took that off really early. So I'm actually wearing the ring that Barrett got me for our first Christmas together. 7.5 years ago. He and I are celebrating our 8 years together. Actually, right about this time, we started dating. Tomorrow is actually the official date, whatever. When we started dating, we've been married. It'll be married 4 years right after Beta shows up. In fact, fun fact, if he does not come on his own, I will be induced the night before our anniversary. So it'll be very likely that if he does not come on his own, that he will be born on our anniversary, which is kind of funny. It doesn't matter to us, it's just more to celebrate. But we're coming on 4 years married, 8 years together. But yeah, changes. So I can't wear my wedding bands anymore. I had to actually, because it's gonna be really hard to see because I'm holding the camera. It was on really, really tight. Like you can see that mark right there, and you can see the band. Anybody who's been married or worn a ring for a long time, you know that there's always like a band, if you got fat fingers like me, that shows up where your wedding band has always been, or your ring, whatever it is. Maybe it's a class ring for school, whatever it is, fun ring your parents or someone important got you. But I waited way too long. With school for my first one, I took my wedding band off the day I went to the hospital. It was no big deal. I didn't gain much weight. I didn't blow up the way I have with this one. Yay, cupcakes. It's my own fault. It's not the baby's fault. Not blaming the baby. But I waited too long to get my bands off, and finally I was like, I should really, really try to get my wedding bands off. Pulling and pulling and pulling, not coming off. Never. I mean, Barrett was trying. We did cold water. I mean, I had my hands submerged in ice water for 20 minutes. I had soap. I had every imaginable. I had baby oil. Every imaginable. Trying to think of another word besides lube, but we're just gonna say lubricative substance in our house. I mean, I was using cooking oil. I had the baby oil, like I said. There's my cat. Hi, Cora. Please don't sharpen your claws on my couch. Anything viscous, is that the word I want? Material that we could use to try to get my ring off, and it was not coming up. And so I remembered seeing on Facebook this way of getting rings to remove. If you've got, if you like a finger injury and your finger's swollen, I'm like, well, it's fat, it's swollen. So it's essentially, you take a piece of dental floss and you thread it under your rings, if you're able to maybe use a somehow push it underneath your ring, and then you just wrap it around your finger, just over and over and over, super, super tight, and make sure there's no gaps in between. So I just went to the dentist probably 2 weeks ago, and they give you those little tiny floss things, and we have so many of them because I used to work in dental and I have a ton of floss. And so I pretty much went through an entire one of those, just wrapping around up to, and then past my knuckle, because I've got man hands. Sorry, they're ridiculous. Up past my first knuckle, probably up to that little cut right there. Hi. And then you pull the part that's on the bottom, and you just you just pull it and around, and it slowly just wiggles your thing. And it also took a ton of skin off of my finger because it was so tight. Sorry, I got really close there. So that was painful, but I can say for a fact that does work. I will actually, in case anybody's never heard of this, or you have a ring that's stuck, provided Pregnancy Brain remembers, I will put a link to one of the videos. I mean, you can use any of the YouTube videos. They're all the exact same thing. I will put a link in the description box below, probably just for the first thing that comes up when I YouTube swollen finger dental floss ring removal. I'll check it, trying to make sure there aren't too many cuss words in it, because there are a couple where they're cussing because they're actually doing it. And you say some interesting words when that floss is cutting your finger. If you're like me. My hands are dry though because I wash them so often. And sorry, that was a really long story. I get really easily distracted. I probably went off on a million tangents. But so yeah, my rings, my engagement ring, my wedding band, my Christmas ring for my husband, but this comes off really easily. So I'm not too concerned about that. And actual physical changes, definitely getting bigger. Oh my goodness. Cannot see past my belly. I have not been able to see past my belly for a while. The scales are tilting up. I wish they'd stop. But that's as much me as it is him actually growing. So at this point he should be, oh, I should have looked this up before I got on here, 4 pounds and about 17 or 18 inches long. Sorry, anybody who might be from the UK or, anywhere besides the United States and uses metric. No idea what that is in kilos and centimeters. But yeah, about 4-ish, somewhere in the 4.5 pound range, and 17 or 18 inches long. So getting there. The next few weeks, we're not looking too much at length growth. You're looking at a typical full-term baby, 40-week baby. You're looking around 18 to 21 inches long, and I don't know what the average weight is, somewhere between 7 and probably 10 pounds. I have a terrible feeling just because he feels heavier. I know I've gained weight, but he just, inside the bulk of him feels heavier. I feel like he's going to be a bigger baby. My daughter was 7 pounds, 7 ounces, which is that's a decent size, or not decent size. That's a fairly small baby for our family. My husband and I were both, I should say, we were both 9 and 10 pound babies. I'm so sorry to our mothers. And so, I'm hoping I'm wrong. I really don't want to give birth to a 10-pound baby. That will hurt so badly. Oh my gosh. But he just feels heavier. It could be that he's growing faster, because these last few weeks, typically what they do is they get a little bit longer, but the baby's mostly just filling out, really gaining fat mass. I mean, to be honest, there are obviously still organs growing. I don't want to give birth to him yet. It's not that he'll be a skinny baby. It's that he'd be a very unhealthy baby at this age. At 34 weeks, we'd be in the NICU for a while. And sorry, distracted, shiny objects. So really want to make sure that his lungs keep developing, all of his organs finish developing. And then he gets that nice chub going on. It's pretty cold out right now. It's supposed to get up to 50 Fahrenheit today. But typically it's been right around freezing. So 32 Fahrenheit, 0 Celsius. So, I'd like him to get, a nice little layer of chub on him. So obviously, like I said, my stomach's grown a lot. I'm having a lot more discomfort in my pelvis area. Like I said, this is going to be weird stuff, but your body produces a hormone called relaxin, I believe, if it's correct, which I think is a very terribly named thing because it sounds like it should be relaxing. And technically it's correct. What it's doing is it's relaxing the ligaments in my pelvis, allowing essentially my pelvis, women's hips get wider when they have babies, allowing that baby to be able to pass through and give birth in most cases. Some women's bodies produce too much of this, and they have something called extreme pelvic pain. I can't think of the letters for it. I'm really I'm just bird brained right now. SPD, I think. I don't know what that stands for, but for me, it's called severe pelvic discomfort. I'm sitting right now. It hurts to sit. When I sleep at night, I have to sleep on my side at this point. You cannot sleep on your stomach when you are past 13 weeks pregnant. And I believe it's very highly discouraged that you sleep on your back, because your stomach then is putting a lot of pressure on a major blood vessel in the mom, which then affects the baby. Plus, it hurts. I mean, everything's squashed in a mom right now. I mean, I'm not going to scroll down to look at my stomach because it's horrifying. But, I mean, everything is like, all my organs, which are usually in my gut, are like in my rib cage. So there's not a lot of space going on. So if I lay on my back, everything just shifts up even more, and I have less lung power and capacity. So you lay on your side, and when I lay on my side, it hurts very, very badly, both on the outside of my hips and on the inside of my pelvis. So that's been interesting. My pediatrician, my OB, was very helpful and told me that it's just pelvic pain. I'm aware. Thank you. But I mean, I'm not anti-medication. I'm definitely not anti-vaxxer, but we won't get into that. But I try not to take a lot of medications while pregnant. My theory being, if it's not safe for my baby to take when he or when my daughter was a newborn, I don't feel like I should be putting it into my body when I'm pregnant. For example, I had a really, really nasty cough, sinus infection. I had the flu. I did take the Tamiflu just to get it over with, because it's better if I get it out of my body faster, but I did not take any other medications. I didn't take cough syrup. I didn't take like anything for my sinus infection, because I couldn't give those things to my child when if he were newborn, I couldn't give those things to him if he had it. So it's kind of interesting. It's my weird way of doing things, I know. Hi, kitten. But, so I'm not really big into medicating while pregnant. So it's not like I would have done much. I was just hoping maybe, I could do some actual doctor recommended stretches, but YouTube has been my savior. But so discomfort, belly's growing, way too much information about removing rings. It's a long video. I'm really sorry. I thought this was going to be a short update, but I won't stop talking. I think that's about it. Like I said, everything's growing on time. Haven't had an ultrasound, so I actually don't know how big he is, but the doctor measures your what's called a fundal height, essentially how big your uterus gets, and based on that measurement, he is growing on schedule, which is good. So when do I go back? I go back on Good Friday, so that's Good Friday, is that right? Yeah, not this coming Friday, not the 23rd, but the 30th. So that's my next appointment. Pretty excited. At that point, I will be 35, almost 30, between 35 and 36 weeks pregnant. And at that point, we'll be looking at the possibility of doing, they might be moving me to weekly appointments. Usually in the last month, they move the mother to weekly appointments, instead of bi-weekly or bi-monthly, whatever. And we're looking at pelvic exams, which are lots of fun. Yay. And it looks like, I don't know if they'll be doing an ultrasound. I know with my first, they did do an ultrasound when I hit 36 weeks just to see her growth. But I don't know if they'll be doing that for him as well, since everything's just kind of textbook. I've been very blessed to have a very textbook pregnancy, just minus the discomfort. That's good. I'm thankful. Very, very thankful. But I think that's about it. I will be quiet now. This is almost 15 minutes long. I'm so sorry for anybody who wanted just a 2-second update. I hope you didn't pay attention this whole time. So have a good one. I will be seeing you guys sometime, probably next week, unless something crazy happens and I need to tell you more later. So have a good one. Bye.